I wanted to start actually with the KDB story because I know very little about it. I know that I know it's to do with Palmari Tancredi or Tancredi Palmari, whatever his name is. But what's this about him calling the media stupid?
So he asked him a straight question. He asked him
If one
why.
more has to start, I'll be so honest.
Listen,
Cool.
only want to answer questions when things are going your way. He asked him a straight question. Why do you think this generation didn't reach a final? It's a golden generation. And he answered him, but the others have golden generations as well. And he just forgot that all the other golden generations reached final, including England, who reached a final in the Euros last time. And he just called him stupid. And the journalist called him out and called him a spoiled brat. And just to be honest with you, this character of KDB, I'm not saying anything about his abilities on the football pitch. An amazing footballer, brilliant for Man City, multiple Premier League winner, a treble winner. But he's not the captain you want for this golden generation. I'm sorry. Walking away from the fans when it's not going their way, when the fans are booing them, you go and you salute the fans, you clap for the fans, you ask for forgiveness, like what Cristiano did, like what all the other captains do. But he literally just walked away and asked for his teammates to walk. That's in the game after the third round. And then you don't want the media to ask you the tough questions. You only want to answer questions when it's going your way, as you are spoiled, as the journalist said. That's not an example for people how to be a captain of a football club. Captains of football clubs answer questions, back their team, like go to the fan, get the fans behind. Like this is not a 20 years old. Like when Jude Bellingham, for example, called out the fans, that's a 20 years old, right? Kevin De Bruyne, 32 years old, you're the captain of the Belgian national team. You don't do that. And it affects everyone negatively in the team. By the way, it affects the Dokus because he's going to retire and he doesn't care, right? The Dokus are going to be there. You know, the Onanas are going to be there. There are still going to be youngsters. And if that's the example you want to set, that's just, to be honest, just as bad as it gets as a captain of any national team. It's as bad as it gets. I know what Sam thinks about that as well.
What do you what do you make of it, Sam?
I think, listen, push the player abilities to the side. KDB has been a bad leader for this Belgium team. Obviously, in the last World Cup, they kind of asked him similar question. His response was, we're too old. Listen, whether you like it or not, the Belgian golden generation has failed. Kevin De Bruyne is using the English reference. I don't get why that one is like some sort of edgy take. Yes, the England golden generation failed. The English players themselves acknowledge it. Gerrard acknowledges it. Lampard does. Gary Neville, Rio. We've heard all of them talk about how the English golden generation failed. I don't get how this is a thing. Like every single time, like someone just mentions that the golden generation fails, they bring back the England one. Yeah, but everyone acknowledges that they failed anyway. Get the point. Like, I genuinely don't get the point of bringing up other golden generations who also failed. Okay, so you're saying you're a failure like them. Congratulations. Wow, congratulations. You both failed. It's just like, it just makes no sense to me. I think his real leadership for Belgium hasn't been there whatsoever. I mean, last time, we're talking about, this time maybe they got eliminated by France and they lost to France in the semi-final of the World Cup, blah, blah, blah. Last time they got grouped in a group with Croatia, Morocco, and Canada. They got grouped in that group, and he was saying we're too old, before the competition. So what message do you think that carries to the players? I look at his individual performances, and I haven't even seen one game, not even one game this whole Euros where I've said like, wow, Kevin De Bruyne was incredible today. It's not like he had a game where he had like, 2 assists and a goal and like they won 3-0 or they slapped up another team. And people's excuses is always like, oh yeah, he doesn't have, players around him and all that stuff. Yeah, but there's many national teams who don't have that many good players around. I mean, Argentina, who just won the World Cup, they had Montiel and Tagliafico in their starting 11. Their centre-back partnership was Otamendi and Romero, with all due respect. Their goalkeeper plays for Aston Villa. So no national team player, even the English national team, they have a centre-back who plays for Crystal Palace. They got a left-back who plays for Newcastle. They got a goalkeeper who plays for Everton. No team is always going to be perfect with all players playing for Madrid and Barca and all that stuff. Like, there's teams, there are teams that have failed as golden generations, and they have failed. And I don't get why Kevin De Bruyne just didn't answer the question. Yes, we were. He could have answered it very PR trained way. Yes, we were unsuccessful. We'll try again. Better for the World Cup or something like that. Just could have given a usual PR trained, media trained answer and could have got the stepping. But instead, I agree with Tancredi 100%. He did respond like a spoiled brat. This is true, and I love when people say, and already here it's mentioned, James in the chat. Oh, Argentina have heritage and DNA of winning. My brother, the last time they won a World Cup was in the 80s. What DNA? What heritage? But like, it's just this heritage talk is just such a buzzword when it comes international football. There is no such thing as heritage. Brazil have been crap in the World Cup since 2002, and they're the most heritage country when it comes to football. So let's not do this whole heritage stuff because it's just buzzwords.
Look, I haven't seen the comments, so it's one of those things that's difficult for me to overly judge. But I have seen some of the fallout online. I will say this: it is a completely fair question for a journalist to ask the captain of his nation about the failings of a golden generation, because when that golden generation was in its pomp, just with England and just with other nations before them, the players involved in that quote unquote golden generation were happy to indulge in the positive press. They were happy to indulge in the media commitments and get the endorsements and the sponsorship deals of being involved with the golden generation of their nation. And if you're happy to accept the title of golden generation when it's benefiting you financially, when it's benefiting your life, I think you have to be willing to take the criticism when that golden generation doesn't deliver what many people feel it should have done. 2016 would be the standout example. You look at that tournament, how good their team was, who went on to win it. The Belgians probably should have gone and done it. And I think 2016, 2018, they had good tournaments, not astounding good tournaments. And they progressively got worse. And I think they should be criticized. And there was a point where they had a number of players, including KDB, Vincent Kompany, when Toby Alderweireld and Vertonghen were, at their absolute pomp. Hazard was in that team. They should have definitely delivered more. And I don't think it's wrong that they get any less criticism from the world of football and European football to what the England team suffered. And I'm talking the golden generation of English football, who I would actually say fouled on a greater scale than Belgium. At least they got to some semi-finals. The England team that had the Beckhams in it and the like, as much as I love the individual players, they failed a lot worse, and they're still criticized now. Some of them have been retired over a decade. So I do think it is a crybaby mentality. That is the type of journalism I want from the journalists out there. Tough, hard questions. Answer them honestly. Fans will appreciate. Now, of course, City fans are going to defend him. Some Belgian fans may defend him, but in the cold, hard light of day, he should be answering those questions and not crying for me. And that goes for any single player out there. If England get knocked out by Switzerland, it's right that Harry Kane gets asked questions about underperforming throughout the course of this tournament based on the quality of this team. And if he starts crying, well, he's already done it a little bit and was criticized for being upset that Gary Lineker said that the performance was shit. It was. It absolutely was. So yeah, I'm not here for that crybaby mentality either. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. But viewers, look, we'd love to know what you think and what you feel about this story about KDB. Let us know in the comments section below or in the live chat as well. Remember, any super chats that come in, we will prioritize them. Any questions you have for the boys. Chelsea fan here says Hazard carried De Bruyne in all of his international career.
Yeah. Now that Hamza is not, he's not on the stream with us, I don't think Hazard carried Belgium. I think that Belgium team was stacked. This is the reality. I think they had Courtois, Alderweireld, Vertonghen, who at the time were Champions League finalists, Vincent Kompany, multiple Premier League winner, captain, Moussa Dembele, who's a baller. They had Eden Hazard, they had Lukaku when he was good, Kevin De Bruyne. So I don't think anyone in that team carried, to be honest with you. I think it's just a stacked team that failed. That's just the reality.
Yeah, but Eden Hazard was the best player in that team.
Yes, the best player doesn't equal carry for me.
I know Hossam has this definition of a carry or it's a one man, like Messi carried Argentina to a World Cup, something like that. Messi is the one that won the World Cup. Hazard didn't carry the team. I think Messi was the one, in my opinion, in 2022 for a different day.
Yeah, probably. I mean, he was maybe the best player, but we can't deny that. For instance, Enzo Fernandez had an amazing tournament. And that's the thing for me. I think that carried is such a weird concept in.
Without Messi, they
football
get
in-
knocked out
in
at the first
general.
round right away. It does, with Enzo, with Lautaro, with Julian Alvarez, they get knocked out. Without
So-
Eden Hazard, Belgium
okay,
might
so-
have reached the quarterfinal. That's what my definition of carry.
So-
Without
yeah,
Messi, makes a
yeah.
mess.
So I can understand. I can understand that element, but equally, if you replay Messi's career and you don't have him in that Barcelona team with Busquets, Xavi, and Iniesta, he wins less. If you take away 2 or 3 other top performers from that Argentina side over the course of that tournament, Enzo, Romero played very, very well as an example. You remove those players, and yes, he might have scored goals, but they might have conceded more and gone out. I think it's sometimes I get where you're coming from, but carried would suggest that most of the team was awful, and then this one guy just delivered. But I suppose it's definitions of the word as opposed to
Gerard in 05 is the perfect definition of carry. This is true. No one can deny this.
Yeah, that does make sense.